Hey everyone, this is Christopher Okada & Company, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to rent office space in New York City. So the first thing that you have to know is your budget, and the budget is in New York is calculated on a per square foot basis. That it is not done on a monthly rent. Now this is for office space or retail space. If you rent an apartment, it's done $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. For a office space, it's calculated on dollars per foot, or for retail, it's dollars per foot. So that's the main difference. So you have to know what your dollar per square foot basis is. Now, what this dollar per square foot basis can do is, if you do have a monthly budget, then you can multiply that by 12 over the square footage, and this is the annual rent. So everything is annual rent in New York City. So the thing that you have to be very clear about is the annual rent, not the monthly rent, the annual rent, and you have to know what that is on a per square foot basis. So for example, if you have a monthly budget of $10,000, and that's annually, you have a $120,000 rental budget. And that means for a 2,000 square foot space, your budget is $60 per foot. So 2,000 square feet, that is the square footage that you require, and you have a budget of $10,000 a month. That means that you have a budget of $60 per square foot. That's the first thing you guys have to know, is that everything is done with the dollars per square foot. And you want to know, you want to get comfortable with this, because you want to talk in the landlord's language. So it's very difficult, and the reason why we have it this way is because of something else called loss factor. Now, over here, so you guys have this concept down, the dollars per square foot. And it's very important, and here's why. Because different types of buildings have different loss factors. So this 2,000 square feet, if you had 3 different buildings with 2,000 square feet, and you took a measuring tape and you actually measured the actual physical space, you will get different actual measurements for 2,000 square feet. And that really belongs with the loss factor. That's what's called loss factor. Loss factor. So every building in Manhattan has a little bit different loss factor. For example, if you are on Rockefeller Center and you have in a glass tower, and you're in a Class A office building, the loss factor is much, much greater, because it takes into account a massive lobby, a lot of tenant spaces, there may be a plaza, there may be retail space for the whole community. So all the square footages of the building are accounted, and the loss factor is different in every single building. So the way to create a uniform sort of budget and a uniform dollars per square foot for the entire New York City area for all the landlords is done, again, on the dollars per square foot. So that's the first thing. The second thing you guys have to know about is loss factor. When you're looking for 2,000 square feet, you're probably getting anywhere from, I would say, 1,000 square feet to 1,500 square feet, depending on the loss factor and the kinds of buildings. So when you go, don't be surprised that you're going to see you go to look at 2,000 square foot spaces and you actually measure 1,500 feet, or you measure 1,000 actually square feet. That's called loss factor. Don't be shocked. Everyone will not understand this, and people will freak out, especially if you're a new company from the West Coast and you're saying, you know, 1,500 feet is 1,500 feet. I don't know why they're showing us 2,000 feet. In Class A office buildings, it's not rare to literally have almost a 50% loss factor. They will not tell you it's 50%, but when you have a measuring tape, you'll see that it's actually 1,000 square feet. So the loss factor is something very big to know, and again, the dollars per square foot is how you calculate the rent. That's also very important. Number three over here is security deposit. Security deposit. Okay, deposit. So, security deposit. How does a landlord know that you're a good tenant and you're going to pay rent on time and they're not going to have issues and you're not going to be a troublemaker? The security deposit. Okay, there are many instances. If you are a Fortune 500 company, or you are a Fortune 1000 company, or you are a publicly traded company of power, if you're a Pepsi, a Coke, a Google, a Facebook, you will have no security deposit. That's right, we can negotiate deals with landlords with zero security deposit. Why? Because of credibility, because of it's more attractive, they want you, they're going to create, they will, you know, roll out a red carpet if you are a Fortune 1000 or Fortune 500 company. If you're a startup, buddy, you got to get it through your mind that you're going to have a 4-month or 6-month security deposit that is very standard. Get it through your mind, and that's a sort of a small hurdle that some companies will have. Yes, it's possible if you're somewhere in between, maybe you can have 2-month security, maybe you can have 3 months, and that sort of thing, but you know, if you are a startup and you need to grow and that sort of thing, once you have credit with the landlord, then they'll probably give you some credit back and that sort of thing. So, security deposit, 0 months to 6 months. 0 months to 6 months depending on your credit. That's something else you should know. And you can offset this. For example, if you have 6 months, you can tell the landlord, if I pay you on time every single month for a year or 2 years, I want you to give me back 2 or 3 months returned. 2 to 3 months return for good behavior. That's called a burn down. Burn down. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm getting technical on you, but this is, you know, I'm a landlord here in New York. I represent a lot of tenants, a lot of office people, and I have to negotiate this all the time. People get sticker shock. But bigger firms are like, no, we're the second largest steel company in the world. We're not paying any security deposit. If this landlord has a problem, let's go across the street. And guess what? In Rock Center, it's not uncommon to have a 0-month security deposit. That's another thing to know. And then finally, the thing for you to all know is that there are escalations. Every year the landlord is going to want the rent to go up. So that's called an escalation. Okay, and you can expect a 3 to 5% annual cumulative. It's actually annum. 3 to 5%. That is normal. In addition to another escalation of the standard 3 to 5% is real estate tax. Real estate tax. You will pay a portion of the increases of real estate tax. That's it. Okay? 3 to 5%. you could try to negotiate down to 2% if you're paying a high rent or whatever it may be. It's all negotiable. This is a give and a take. Maybe you'll give 6 months security, but you need a 2% annual escalation. Maybe you'll give 3% escalation, but you only want to give 4 months security. And if you pay rent on time for 1 year straight, then you get a month back and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of different technical ways to play with this, and this is really for small, medium, and large companies. And that's another thing, though. The real estate tax, the percentage increased escalations per annum, and that goes every single year. And the next thing to know about is there's something, how long of a lease. You're going to have to know how long of a lease you want. And that's called lease term. Lease term, okay? So that's, I would say, and that's basically, you can do 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years. I literally have taken a 99-year lease, I've taken a 49-year lease on a whole building here in Midtown Manhattan. So that's it. And I wanted to make this a very short little tutorial, but it actually wound up going like 12 minutes or so. So that's it. In New York City, you're just going to want to remember a couple of things. You're going to want to remember price per foot. You're going to want to remember loss factor. You're going to want to remember the security deposit situation and the burn down, because the burn down is actually a acquisition strategy. You're going to want to remember the escalations and the percentages, because that's all being able, you can negotiate with that. You're going to want to remember about the real estate taxes, and you're also going to want to remember the lease term. So that's pretty much it. If you guys need further assistance, feel free to reach out. You can email me, you can Instagram me, you can YouTube, submit comments in YouTube. And please do me a favor and subscribe, so I know that people out there actually care about this stuff, and entrepreneurs alike. And if you're a business owner, definitely hopefully this could help you and your business. And that's it. Feel free to reach out, and of course with me, if you ever need any assistance as far as looking for office space in New York City, I am here at your disposal. I don't care if you're a startup, I don't care if you're a Fortune 500 company. We are here to help. I've assisted thousands of companies over the past 14 years, and I'm here and I'm going to stay. And that's it. Christopher Okada, and I will check you guys later.